Latino consciousness was born in Chicago, was not born anywhere else. Why? Because if you had lived in the 60s in New York, New York was a Puerto Rican Latino community. Los Angeles, a Mexican Latino community. Miami, a Cuban Latino community. It's here in Chicago where all those groups came together and they needed to create a common Latino agenda, and thus the birth of Latino activism. My name is Jose Lopez. I'm the executive director of the Puerto Rican Cultural Center, as well as one of the founders of this institution. The center really dates back to almost more than 50 years. Really had a lot to do with the marginalization of the Puerto Rican community in this part of Chicago. In 1966, there would be a huge riot right here called the Division Street Riots, which in my estimation was not a riot, but a rebellion. A rebellion of people who were tired of being treated as second-class citizens, of being treated as objects, and reduced to literally second, third-class citizenship in terms of housing, in terms of education, in terms of health. And so it would be against the backdrop of that rebellion of 1966. It's against the backdrop of the marginalization of this community that some people began to organize. And ultimately, by 1972, we had created the first program that would lead to the creation of the Puerto Rican Cultural Center, which was a high school, an alternative high school for Puerto Rican dropouts. We have developed programs that I think are cutting edge in terms of vision, but we also have a whole series of events that we promote every year that are cultural, that celebrate who we are as a community, including an annual parade. We also host an annual festival of Puerto Rican music and art, artisanry and food, Fiesta Boricua, with kids being able to enjoy a lot of activities, but also within a culturally defined practices. You have to have a real idea of the people you serve, the community you serve, but more importantly, you have to be deeply embedded in its pains, its sufferings, but also its possibilities. What's your life worth living if it has no meaning and purpose? So I'm reminded of a speech that Martin Luther King gave, I think it was the last day in Memphis, in which he says, I may die tomorrow, but I have lived my life fully. And he was 39 years old, and he says, there are men who live 80 years and they're living dead. And I don't want to be a living dead. I think in order for us to be fully alive, we have to be able to impact other people's lives in a positive way. We have to dignify those that don't have a voice, those who are marginalized. We have to give meaning to those who have no meaning and purpose. And so, if that's what life really is. Otherwise, it's not worth living.